What's up everybody, and welcome back to another action figure review. Today I'm going to be checking out NECA's Muckman and Joe Eyeball from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series.
Are you those garbage men?
Now I call myself Muckman.
Hey, and I'm Joe Eyeball.
I wonder how you ever came up with a name like that.
These two characters are some of the most beloved ones in the entire franchise. Their original Playmates action figure is a classic and really stands out across the entire Playmates line. A lot of those classic action figures came with character accessories, and they were some of the best ones. Joe Eyeball was and is once again a fantastic accessory in this Ultimate Style Collector's box. As per usual with these Ultimate Style Collector's boxes, it comes with a cover that flips open, revealing Muckman's beefy figure, Joe Eyeball, Joe's ride-along trash can, General Treg's rockalizer gun, and more. Now these two don't make their first appearance until Season 5 in the episode called Muckman Messes Up. Muckman and Joe Eyeball never use weapons in the original series, but instead hurl trash at their opponents, so it's really cool that we get a weapon accessory for another action figure in the NECA animated line. Don't worry, I'll be reviewing General Treg and Granitor real soon. This Muckman looks so incredible and I cannot wait to add him to my collection. So with that, let's take a closer look at NECA's Muckman and Joe Eyeball from the original TMNT animated series. And here's our packaging for Muckman and Joe Eyeball, everybody. And of course we have the same style of packaging as the other Ultimate Collector's boxes. As you can tell, it's supposed to look like a VHS tape box, and they nailed it with this one. I love the illustration right here on the cover of this box. We have Muckman and Joe Eyeball. We have Muck Everlasting, the title of this collector's volume. This is volume 4, by the way. We have the classic TMNT branding up top. We have the 4 turtles in the back, and it actually looks like they were scared of Muckman. Actually, if you haven't seen the episode where he makes his first appearance, one of Muckman's special powers is when the turtles are surrounding him, they actually start to weaken and lose their strength and basically collapse straight to the ground. Let's flip it over to the side here. We have our simple NECA branding up top with the TMNT logo, more Muck Everlasting. And let's flip to the back, and here we have lots of product photos of Muckman and Joe Eyeball here in these 3 panels. We have a nice illustration of Irma and Joe Eyeball. Joe Eyeball actually does have the hots for Irma in the episode.
Hey, what do you say you and me become a regular item, babe?
And if you don't know who Joe Eyeball or Muckman are, they're actually 2 garbage men named Garson Grunge and Joe Junkie. And in the episode, Rocksteady and Bebop pour a bunch of ooze on top of them, and they actually transform into Muckman and Joe Eyeball. It's pretty funny that Joe Eyeball is offering Irma some, I don't know, ooze or trash to remember him by. He actually does that in the end of the episode, which is pretty funny.
I'd kind of like you to have this, you know, to remember me by.
And Irma being on the back of this box just makes me think that we're gonna get an Irma action figure eventually. Up top, we do have a little description of Muckman and Joe Eyeball, and it says, mutated by ooze, former garbage men Garson Grunge and Joe Junkie become the world's smelliest sort of superheroes. Muckman and Joe Eyeball aren't here to clean up the town, but they will trash the foot and make a mess out of Manhattan while doing it. Includes trash can backpack, extra hands, swappable mouths, rockalizer, and barrel of ooze accessories. And you can see in these 2 product shots here that there is a barrel of ooze filled right here where Joe is actually just sitting and taking a little trash bath. And up here, we have the ooze all over Muckman's hand. Very cool. There's the rockalizer gun in Muckman's hand. It's not even meant for him. It is for General Treg. But that is it for the back of the box, guys. Really love this, how vibrant and poppy this is. Actually, before I bust him out of here, I do want to show you the inside flap, which I completely forgot to show you guys. We have a wicked product shot of Muckman over here. Again, another frame-worthy shot. I love the way it looks. I love the green and the orange and the contrast. Here we have the figure on this side. Again, we can see everything included in this box, including the hands and the barrel of ooze over here. But there's the figure. He is big, he is beefy, he is chunky. So let's go ahead and now bust this guy out of here. And we can't forget the backing on all of these Ultimate Collector's boxes, guys. They look absolutely stunning. Check that out. So here he is, everybody, and at first glance, he looks absolutely amazing. I'm actually already really in love with this guy. And hey, look, there's not a single broken limb. All right, we're gonna kick things off by taking a look at his awesome sculpt, all those little details all over this guy, his paint job, his accessories, and of course, his articulation. Look how amazing these two guys look together. He's absolutely marvelous looking. You can really tell just by looking at his feet how slimy and how gooey he's actually supposed to look. Everywhere on his body, including his arms, his back, has some kind of rigidity and sliminess look to it. You can see all over there. Looks absolutely hilarious. I love all the bugs and the food all over him. Of course, you got that classic banana peel on top of his head, just like the original Playmates action figure had. Very cool. Unfortunately, unlike that Playmates action figure, you can't take the banana peel off and fill his head full of ooze. Canisters of spray paint and just normal cans. Absolute amazing details on this action figure, guys. I'm just blown away by all of it. Look at that. More down there. I do really admire the black outline work on this action figure in particular, opposed to the other ones. You really get to see all those little slimy, gooey bits because of those little, black swoops and swooshes to emphasize the leakiness and the ooze. Love it. Look at his eyes. I love how green and yellow and fluorescent they are. A really nice paint job on NECA's part. His lips are super, super fluorescent green. Even his teeth are a little greenish yellow. He has the little plug on his nose, a little laundry pen because he smells so bad. Again, just the details here. I think that's a mushroom. Or maybe like an apple core. Well, that's an apple core for sure. I don't know what this is. We have this, magnifying glass down here. Even though on the cover of the box, the magnifying glass is pink, this action figure has an orange magnifying glass handle. I just want to pull aside the Playmates Muckman and Joe Eyeball for a quick second here. I just want to show you how similar they actually look. On the details, even on the Playmates, you can see all the goo and the snails and the bones. There's actually a lot more trash and details on this Muckman, the Playmates one. But of course, this is not the one that, he doesn't look like the one from the TV show. Whereas this NECA one, he looks spot on from the animated series. It's mind-blowing. As I keep saying, I'm absolutely in love with this guy. Look at the rockalizer gun he comes equipped with. Lots of details in there, sculpt-wise, paint-wise. This is probably one of the most detailed accessories we've seen, well, I've seen so far. But you have all these little chambers here, these little pipes. You have this little red handle here, this lever, I'm not too sure what it is. You have these air barrels here. I love the coil nozzle right down there. You see that? How it coils, very cool. I love the inside, the red tip. I don't even know what that is. I guess where the energy waves come out so he can actually turn the gravel into whatever he wants. And what's beautiful is that it actually goes into his hand, no problem. Luckily, his fingers are very malleable. You can see how tender and flexible they are. So you can imagine how easy it is for me to just put the gun into his hand and pull it out. See that? See how flexible that hand is? It's very cool and very convenient. I wish a lot more toys were that flexible and rubbery. And speaking of rubber, this guy is full of it. So he's a very soft action figure in general. His legs and his arms are, quite hard. His torso, the main chunky parts are very quite hard. But you see all this orange jacket that he's wearing here. It is a nice rubber texture, nice soft rubber plastic, very malleable, so it doesn't hinder his movement whatsoever, which is really nice. Down here as well, also soft rubber. Actually, you can see it a lot more right there, how it bends in. Even the banana up top on his head is made of rubber. You can see by the ends there, the flaps. Let's actually just jump onto Joe for a quick second. He's actually all hard. There's no soft rubber on this guy. I thought that he would have had more rubber components to him and softer components, but he doesn't really have anything. Flip into the back real quick here. Here's the trash can that Joe Eyeball hides in. It just clips on like that. There's a little hole in the back of his, in his back, and you just slip it in there. And conveniently, Joe Eyeball does have these little hooks on him, and you can just hook them on. Bam, just like that, and he kind of holds tight. Or if you just want to tuck him in a little bit more, there you go. Now you can take a little bath. Again, the NECA line has that light color in the front, the shadow play in the back. As I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of it, but you know, it is what it is, and NECA definitely does have a style going on when it comes down to it. You just saw that his hand fell off. It doesn't fall off too easily, but I think the pegs are a little too small. And of course, like every other figure, to put the hands in, you just line the clips up with the holes and bam, it's in, and you can rotate it and move it in and out as well, which is very convenient. The paint on his hands and the joints aren't actually chipping off, which is really nice. I was having a big problem with that in the other boxes, but you can actually see, if you look closely, that the gray underneath is actually it's completely gray. There's not a single ounce of paint in the joint there, so that's why it's not actually chipping, because there actually is no paint. And I do love this menacing looking hand. That's probably one of my favorite hands that he does come with. Well, he only comes with 2 sets. He comes with the other open grip, or the other open hand for his right hand, and of course he has the gripping hand. It's not the pistol hand. This is not a pistol hand. It's just like almost like a grip hand for something else. As you can tell, that the gun hand does have the little finger trigger right there. You see that? We do have the canister of ooze, which I will open up at the end of this video, guys, so hold tight. His other accessory is his mouth. I'm gonna quickly replace this mouth, well, his current mouth, with this one, because you know what, they both look creepy. That is hilarious. He's just giving you a nice, great big O face. Slip it in like that, and now his mouth is open. It is a little pain in the butt to take those mouthpieces off, because there isn't any kind of grip to pry it out. Lots of nice details on this guy. Again, the paint job looks fantastic. There's that light and dark play on the side profile there. Love the black circle lines here. All the line work on his chest in particular is really nice, very clean. Little baby scales on the back of him, and you see this weird little tail. More of those scales on the top of his head, and of course his googly eyes. I love how weird they are. Unfortunately, they don't have any sort of movement or articulation. I wish right off the bat that this was some kind of a wire system so that you can actually move his eyes any way you like. But you know what? It is very cool nonetheless. Just be careful you don't snap it. They do actually feel quite stiff in there, and like the plastic's very hard. So honestly, I don't think you're gonna break it unless you're being very rowdy with him. We have a really nice paint job on the bucket here. I love that blue and gray and how it contrasts with the orange and the green. So very cool color palette that they got going on here. Taking a look at the gun again, honestly, I'm just blown away at how detailed it is, guys. Actually, it looks like one of the pipes here is a little broken, so I'm going to have to fix that. It is very interesting that we do get General Treg's Rockalizer gun in this. It just, you know, it leaves me wondering what else NECA has in store for us. What kind of deep cuts are they gonna go for next? I hardly mentioned some of the details in his feet and his legs and whatnot. Again, you can see this squirt bottle of paint or something. You have the blue manhole cover that he's standing on. Oh, and speaking of which, if you guys can't tell, he stands no problem. You notice, like, I can move him around and he doesn't fall. Well, he'll fall backwards because of the weight from Joe Eyeball and the bucket, but he does have some really good heavy weight on him, so he's not gonna fall over. Now that we've checked out how awesome these two look, let's go ahead and check out their articulation. This guy does have some pretty outstanding articulation for this kind of figure. Starting with his ankle, he does have a nice swivel up and down, and you can actually rotate it, which is really, really cool. He can't rock it back and forth, but he basically has that swivel and up and down movement. He does have a double jointed knee, and it flexes all the way back. You see that? As far as it can go, it doesn't get impeded by anything. And of course, his thigh has a rotation, just like so. You can rotate it. Let's check out his meaty left leg. As you can see how meaty it is. Now, he does have a swivel, again, up and down at that ankle, if you want to call that an ankle. And then it does swivel. Of course, it swivels, it rotates. You just got to make sure you position it properly, or else, you know, you might actually break it. It doesn't have any give, and I don't want to flex it anymore and accidentally break it. He does have a double jointed knee on that leg, so also doesn't get impeded on anything whatsoever, so full-on flexibility there. He doesn't have any swivel in his thighs, no thigh cut or anything, but that's okay. He is very loose. If you guys are noticing how loose he is, he actually came very loose out of the box, and as I'm playing with him now, He's just getting looser and looser. Let's move on up to his torso. You can rotate his lower torso. Very cool all the way around. And now he does have a upper, I guess, solar plex or upper chest swivel that you can rotate all the way around. Again, doesn't get impeded on anything. He does have really nice articulation in the arms. Both arms are the exact same, so he can move them up all the way, just like that, as much as you'd want his arms to lift. So awesome, awesome shoulder articulation. Can also rotate. And he does have a nice bicep rotation. It's very loose as well, as you can see, but spins, no problem. He does have a nice double jointed elbow. His wrist also rotates, and as you guys saw earlier, it can move in and out. And last is his head. So he does have a head rotation. Very, very stiff at first, but there we go. Now we're loosening it. And he does have a little bit of articulation up and down. Not a lot, as you can see. Not as much as I would like, but you know what? He is slouched over. He's a big, beefy guy. I don't think he's supposed to have crazy good articulation. Let's take a quick look at Joe Eyeball here. Not a lot of articulation on him, as you guys have already kind of noticed maybe. He does have arm articulation in the shoulders, but not in the elbows, and you can move him up and down. That's as far as the articulation goes in his arms, guys. It's not a lot. And then his head also rotates, of course, spins, and moves up and down. There it is, guys. There's the articulation on both Muckman and Joe Eyeball. As for any gripes I have with Muckman and Joe Eyeball, well, let's start off with Joe real quick here. I wish there was a little bit more articulation on this guy, maybe being able to move his legs or these other two tentacles. I wish these eyes can actually move a little bit more. As for this guy, I don't think I would want to change anything about him. What I would like to see, actually, more accessories. Another accessory that I think would be really nice on this guy is maybe like a slime ball. Not actually a pile of slime, but like a plastic piece of slime that looks like slime that he could hold on to in these hands and pretend like he's gonna hurl it at his opponents. Now let's take a quick look at Muckman next to other action figures in the line, like Mondo Gecko and the Ultimate Foot Soldier. And then here we have Kerma, and we'll put in Splinter into the fold. We'll replace Mondo Gecko, put in some Splinter. We can actually compare Joe Eyeballs together. How cute is this? Now that is pretty damn cute. I told you I was gonna do it, and here it is, the Tropitron Labs Compound X-7 Ooze. I don't know how hard it's gonna be to clean. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's toxic. It has that radioactive symbol, but we're gonna play with it anyway. So, here we go, and what's inside? You can see it's this like green gelatin. Almost does look like Jello, actually. Let's pour some in his hands. Let's see here. Oh, that's delicious. I can't wait. Wow, it's actually like a really cool jelly coming off nice and clean. What is happening here? Oh, man. This actually reminds me of Silly Putty, and it's not even sticky on my hand. It's not oily. It's not really leaving a residue. It just kind of picks itself up, and you might have to wipe his hands down a little bit. I can see there's a little bit of like small pieces of this ooze left on him, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. Here's Joe in his little trash can ooze bath, and you'll see it just lifts right off the surface of whatever it touches. Look at that, see, no residue being left behind, and Joe's like, what? Look at that crazy ooze. I love this part. I was expecting a lot more of a mess when it came down to this, but I'm glad that NECA came up with a great solution to an oozy, slimy problem. You know, I must say it is very, and I mean very satisfying watching this ooze slowly drip all over this guy. It's just so fun how it bounces off everything. Oh, sorry, buddy. That is hilarious, guys. Love this. So overall, let's face it, these animated action figures are absolutely marvelous. Every sculpt in this line is truly amazing, beautiful, it's highly detailed, and the paint jobs on these guys are so wonderfully done, especially on this Muckman and Joe Eyeball. The black line work on these two are also very, very well done, and it just accentuates all those details in the sculpt. The texture on this guy is great. You can feel every slimy bump at the tip of your fingers when you're handling him. Muckman doesn't come with many accessories, but he does come with some notable ones. Of course, he comes with Joe Eyeball, his sidekick, and the most surprising accessory is the Rockalizer rifle that belongs to General Treg. For being such a beefy action figure, this Muckman does really have excellent articulation. Not to mention that he could stand up on his own, no problemo, thanks to that awesome manhole cover that he stands on. Joe Eyeball, on the other hand, doesn't have all the articulation that I'd like, but you know what? He does have more than enough for exactly what he needs to do. He sits in a trash can covered in filth. If you're a TMNT collector, you don't want to miss out on this action figure. And it's Muckman and Joe Eyeball. What's there not to love? Alright everyone, thanks for checking out my review of NECA's Muckman and Joe Eyeball. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like, comment down below, and let me know if you have this figure and what you like or don't like about it. Did you guys pour that ooze all over your Muckman and Joe Eyeball? Did you give your General Treg his trademark Rockalizer rifle? I'd love to know, so let's start a conversation down there, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're into action figure reviews. I'll be posting more photos of Muckman and Joe Eyeball on my Instagram, which you can check out at Claudio_Paola, so follow me there for more content. Thanks again for watching, and you can catch me in the next one.